From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey-o!
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. As always, Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer Pucks Out podcast. Check them out every Thursday for bingo and Tuesday for singos. Check out their socials on Facebook and Twitter to be kept up to date on all their events. I've got the what is it called? The llama lager today. I don't know if I've had this one yet.
Nice.
It's been in my fridge for a bit. I may have had it once.
I just snagged a 6-pack out of the fridge, and it happened to be the 10-year again, the 10-year anniversary. So that's what I'm nice. Rocking with today. You know, you always just assume, Bob, that we're cracking open this cold beer. Well, how do you know that I haven't started keeping my beers warm? You know what I'm saying? Like I've just acquired a new taste for it.
Oh, British style?
Yeah. Well, my brother, Jackson, has a buddy he did have a buddy. I'm sure he's since parted ways but he would come to like a bonfire. He'd come to like a bonfire with like a 12-pack, and he would set his 12-pack by the fire. And so people thinking, oh, let me be nice and move it away from the fire, he got upset. He likes his beer warmed up. I'm like, you're a psychopath.
That's hot beer. See, I get somebody might liking room temp, but that's psychopath behavior. Wanting hot beer.
We gotta call somebody. He's heating it up. He's boiling out some particles to let the devil in that thing. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Or you know what's happened is too many times people have snuck his beers, and he's like, no more. No one wants to take a hot beer.
He's like, I'm going to acquire a new taste for like extremely hot beer. And we're to the point where he doesn't even enjoy it, but he enjoys knowing that other people also cannot enjoy it. That's the key, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean,
some people just like watching the world burn.
It's still right. It's still the same, right? It's still, we're going to see a Netflix documentary about this guy. Like he on par with Jeffrey Dahmer at some point. Like, well, and it's not going to be, well, no, I never saw it coming. He's such a nice, it's going to be, no, it was pretty much immediate when I heard he heated up his beer. I was done with him. So I guess we should fit check, right?
Fit check. No, I got the Grizz hat and just a Hawaiian shirt on today, man. I'm just feeling loosey-goosey today.
Loosey-goosey. Just the plaid. Shirt. I like to feel sometimes like, oh man, that guy works with his hands. I don't at all, but I like people to think that. And so, that's why I'm rocking this bad boy. And then we got Easter coming up, right? Good Friday. I'm off on Friday. Got that Easter Preds hat on. There we go.
Real
we
nice,
got a good, nice look on it. So, man. So just keeping it chill. How you been doing this week? Dude. I think we skipped that for the fit.
Yeah,
check.
I think well,
so excited.
Doing well, man. Went and saw the new Dungeons and Dragons movie last night with the wife. It was such a good movie. Really enjoyed
it. Was good.
Yeah. How about you, dude?
Yeah, man. Doing pretty good. Had a super low key weekend, like I really wanted to. Stephanie went across the street to her aunt's house for a cousin's wedding shower. After the wedding shower portion, she hit me up. She's like, "Hey, they got drinks. People are taking shots and having fun. You want to come over?" And I was like, no, no offense to all you guys or anything, but absolutely not, dude. I'm still recovering from my not a vacation a few days ago.
Yeah.
So kept it low key, played a bunch of Xbox, watched some of the games. Yeah, man, just keeping it super chill.
Yeah.
So
earlier this week, the wife and I and her parents and the sister-in-law and her husband went to the wine festival at the Bridgestone Arena by the Preds, and I got real toasty.
Yeah, you
Like,
called me.
a good
and then
bit
I called
like-
you back. Yeah,
Oh,
you
did
called
I?
me. Yeah, you called me, and I called you back. Like it was like 10 or 15 minutes later. I think we were eating or something. And I was like, "Hey, bud, what's up?" And you said, "Hey, man, what's going on?" I was like, "You called?" You're like, "Oh shit." I was like, "What's up, man?" He was like, you started asking people like, "Why did I call Brandon? Like, why did I call him?" Like, dude, it's all good. I was like, it's cool, man. Like,
I think oh, you know what? I was trying to think of the name. I remember now because I called you and D Harris because I was trying to remember the name of the liquor that he got us at that bar, Malort.
Oh, Malort.
And I couldn't remember it to save my life. And so I
Malort.
left him a voice, but like, bro, what's the name of that? And he just sent me a message like, the name of the liquor is Malort.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they were giving out like tasters of not just wine, but liquor. So the first one we go to, it's a tequila place. I was like, all right, I'll get a little taster of tequila. Their taster of tequila was a 2.5 ounce pour. That's not a taster. That's a full shot. A big shot.
That's a big shot.
Yeah.
Bud. Like,
yeah. And so like, obviously I'm like,
have
okay.
a taster. You mean like what people buy when they already know they like it? That's not a taster.
And so I'm just like, all right. But then I see my father-in-law just take it to the dome. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're doing this tonight. So like we're 6 things in, and I'm already like 8 shots deep of tequila.
Let's be fair though. The difference is that Brett at any time can just cut it off. He can just be like, "Oh, I'm done." After you taking that first shot, Bobby, you are committed to a lifestyle that night. Okay, so let's not pretend.
Well,
like
and I looked over to my brother.
Oh, we're going for it tonight, Brett. Like, no, Brett's just gonna stop drinking when appropriate.
Well, I looked at my brother-in-law Nate, and I was like, "All right, dude, I guess we're doing this." And of course, like, there's also food thing, and all the girls and stuff, they want to stop and try all these different foods. I'm like, "No, I know what cheese tastes like. I'm good.
Right.
I know what like." So I'm like,
Brett already messed me up.
So we
already had the shot. You've locked down a choice for this weekend.
Yeah. And then like I make friends, because just like you, I make friends where I go. So I like made friends with a couple of the beer vendors there. And instead of tasters, they just one just gave me a 6-pack right here. You can have the 6-pack. I'm like, all right. So I'm drinking beers. And then we get to the inner circle, which is all wine. We take 3 tasters of wine. And I look at Nate, I'm like, all right, we could waste our time with wine that we know when like we're not big wine guys. Well, we could do another lap of tequila and whiskey.
Yeah.
So we
that
just
sounds like the
wine,
call.
did another lap.
That sounds like the move.
Yeah, I got pretty toasty, and then on the ride home, I was like, you know what I'm craving? And this is like a solid midnight when I am like some chicken parm. You think Olive Garden's open? The whole crowd was like, no, Olive Garden's definitely. I'm like, maybe. You never know.
Olive Garden. You're asking people like
breadsticks, salad.
The only thing standing in my way from chicken parm right now is the people around me that don't want to go to Olive Garden late night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Let's just for a second take your idea and say it's legit. What type of people do you think that Olive Garden would have post when double digits hit, when 10 o'clock hits? Like that's got to be a different crowd, right? Like that you're. I
assume it's almost like the Venn diagram becomes like a circle with like the IHOP people, but they don't want breakfast food. They want the same crowd, but they just have a different flavor that they want that night.
Well, see, and that's why I'm a Steak and Shake guy. That's why that's my late night go-to. Is like, I can get a toaster or like a melt or something at Waffle House, but like that's their secondary. They want to hit me up with a good waffle. Whereas Steak and Shake is like, dude, I want to get you this dope burger and a dope shake. Yeah. And that's what we do. Oh, by the way, did I mention that we have the best fries in the entire industry, bro? So Steak and Shake, hands
yeah. But it's very rare that I'm like drunk, like I want chicken parmesan.
Yes, Megan, we know what you're doing when you get home. Okay, whip it up.
My wife Megan got a hold of my mom, and like so we went to her place last night, and she made chicken parm because she was like, I'm not making this. Your mom can make you some chicken parm. I'm like, let's go. But all right, let's
we should move on.
The
right?
news. Yeah.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
Oh, we're going to have a short episode. Quick adventure, in and out, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, and we're just now getting to the news.
Yeah.
More teams have clinched a playoff spot in the NHL. The wild card is tight. Especially in the West right now. So I'm trying to see what we this is a lot of this is covering. I think this is the East hasn't changed much, but in
No.
the West, a lot has changed because last week I don't think any team was clinched officially last week in the West.
We had no clinches.
Now we've got Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota. Yeah,
no divisional.
And we got Vegas,
yet.
Edmonton, and LA.
No divisional clinches at this point in the West. Still purely just the 3 Central and the 3 Pacific.
Just the X's,
teams
not the
clinched
asterisks.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just X, no Y's yet.
Yeah.
No Y's. So, but you got a couple of shuffling people. I mean, the Preds are somehow they're mathematically still in this, a very low percentage.
After beating Vegas last night with or 2 nights ago, I think it was last night. Just absolutely insane that they are at this
still
pace,
in
and it. We know they're going to sneak in, right? Like it's at this point because they can't lose properly.
Well, it's Seattle's to lose. They have 77 games played with 94 points there. And then Winnipeg has 77 games played with 89 points. Right below that is Calgary, 78 games with 87 points, and Nashville with 77 games and 86 points. So still there, still mathematically possible. I think that the Seattle Kraken clinched their first playoff berth, and I think that Winnipeg's right there with them. I think that Calgary has had a rough season. I'm more hopefulness on the Preds because our luck, they will slide in, and we'll get beat 4 games in a 4-game skid by whoever we play.
Yeah. Well, of our 5 games remaining, we've got 1 against Winnipeg and one against Calgary. Those 2 games, I mean, if the Preds somehow sneak out 2 wins on the road, then next thing you know, they leapfrog and they might. And now they have a hard schedule, which is good for people like us, I think, who want them to miss the playoffs. So we get picked. They got Carolina tomorrow night, then Winnipeg, Calgary, then Minnesota and Colorado. I mean, that is a tough schedule.
It's tough, but it's hockey down the stretch.
Yeah, that's the problem. You got to think Colorado might be resting players at the time because that's a postponement game. So that's like they didn't think they'd be playing that late in the season. But yeah, I mean, but knowing the Preds, they'll somehow make it in by 1 point.
A lot more disparity
in
the. I was just going to say a lot more disparity in the East. We'll talk about that coming up, so we can move on.
Yeah. Ovi has now spent half of his life playing for the Capitals. I don't know the exact days, but it's like 6,700 days as of today that he has been a Capitals player, which matches the days that has been alive that he wasn't a Capitals player, that's insane. That's awesome. He's still someone who can, if it wouldn't be surprised if he comes out next season completely healthy and somehow gets, like a Rocket Richard or something crazy or something like that. I mean, still an absolute baller in this league.
Yeah. I mean, where is he sitting at goals wise this year? Do we know? I mean, I'm sure he's doing all right for himself.
I can pull that up.
Let's see.
I think let's see. Goaltending leaders, complete leaders. Where are you? That's goaltending. I'm looking. Probably because I clicked on goaltending. I need to go to the goals leader. There we go.
Yeah. I was gonna say
he's probably at 35. I would assume.
He is not on
Alex Ovechkin. He is at 42. He is number 8 on the list right now. 42.
So maybe I am
40 goals.
Okay, I just skipped right over him. Okay, so he's still on track for the record that we were talking about. He definitely needed to hit 40 goals. Still on that. So 40 goal scorer is valued asset in this league. I don't see him going anywhere.
Yeah.
Preseason,
soon. I thought he'd hit 50, and I mean 42 is getting pretty close. I mean, 5
we
games
still got
left.
a few
that's the thing with
games
Obies. He could pop out a hat. He could pop out a hat trick. At
Washington
any time
has been
and get
down
to 47 or something.
Washington's been down a bit this year as well. So not where they have normally been. So I mean, I'm not going to give you anything, but it was close. It was close enough to where I would be like, that's a valuable prediction. That wasn't off the wall, crazy, stupid.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize that they have been eliminated from the playoffs officially. That was a shock to me.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that until right now.
Looks like as of right now, Pittsburgh's sitting on the outside looking in. Kind of hoping it stays that way. We know, again, with our luck, that Pittsburgh will both be in and the Preds will be in. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But the Panthers and Islanders are sitting right there. So.
All right. The Bruins are the fourth team ever in NHL history to reach the 60-win mark, joining the 18-19 Tampa Bay Lightning with 62 wins, the 95-96 Red Wings at 62, and the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens with 60. I don't know how many games they have left. They have 5
games left.
Yeah, they have a chance to. Yeah, I mean,
at least tie.
I wouldn't be surprised if they hit 65.
That would be crazy. So 63 is the number, right? If they hit 63, they have the best season of all time. That is, that's impressive. I mean, we've watched them play this year, and they have been just as good as we, thought that they weren't going to be. With the new coach and kind of the same core coming back and haven't performed well in the past couple of playoffs. It's good to see those superstars playing well. You hope for a good playoffs. It's one of those leagues where they could play this hard all season and they go down in the first series. So I'll be interested to see. I don't expect it, but hey, this is hockey. And hey, if they do go down in the first series, obviously we'll need to replay the series just to make sure that everything was above board.
I love it. That meme will never die. All right, let's head into outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
The Final Four winners, at least that's what the court said, so, it's official. San Diego State and UConn. Yeah, I know you were saying it.
Gotcha.
But then UConn won the national championship. I think I got real upset at one of the Final Four games because Hulu was having some issues, and I missed San Diego State's winning bucket. Literally, as he went up for the jumper, it blacked out, and then it came back with them giving an interview. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So
it sounds like you got a little behind. Sounds like you got a little behind on it, and then it cut when the new show came on. Well,
I got on Twitter at Hulu because there were so many people on Hulu. Hulu was having issues, so for the next game, I switched to my DirecTV live TV, whatever it is, on DirecTV streaming service. I didn't have any issues. Did you have any money on any of the Final Four games or the Natty?
Not a lot. I think I had a little on the first half over, which I lost. I didn't, I just didn't know which way it was going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, my
this has
gut
been such
intuition
a
was
tournament.
My gut intuition was to absolutely smash, put, 10, 15, 20 bucks on UConn, their spread. And I should have, but I was like, I don't know, man. This is a weird
honestly, this tournament had been so weird. Yeah, I stayed away from betting on the Final Four of the championships because I wanted to be able to enjoy it without having any money on the line, and I'm glad I did because I did just get to enjoy some good games and not have to worry about rooting for somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, UConn was the only team in the Elite Eight that had won a championship before, and that experience showed itself. They kind of cruised to their championship win, and but San Diego State, man, that's huge for a school like that. Just getting that. This, in my opinion, was one of the best tournaments I've seen in a long time.
Well, since like 2000 I think since 2006, 2007, somewhere around there, maybe it's like later, like 2012, they've been the most successful California college basketball team, which is surprising, especially
with UCLA there. Yeah.
UCLA there, but UCLA has been an underperforming basketball team for a good while. We're getting a UCLA team that's kind of stepped up to the plate. But yeah, I mean, they've seen a lot of success. I mean, this is one of those things where, hey, you made it to the national championship and you lost, but as a San Diego State school, you didn't lose, right? You won. Making it all the way to that big stage. Same with Florida Atlantic. Hey, you had a heartbreaking loss in the Final Four. Who cares? You guys are going to hang that Final Four. You're going to hang that Final Four because at a certain point down the road, yeah, it hurts right now, but what do they talk about at the beginning of the season? Well, this team, Florida Atlantic, has been to the Final Four before. This is a team that's been there before. So a very success. I mean, Miami, maybe not as a success, but I mean, a Final Four is always a success. But, that's just a bigger school that has seen larger successes. So I think it's great for all four teams. I think the team that was the best of the four definitely won it. So no complaints here. It wasn't Duke, it wasn't Kentucky, it wasn't Kansas, it wasn't UNC,
wasn't Tennessee.
So I mean, I was just saying more folks that have won it before, or won it more recently. I remember Kimball Walker's run at UConn, where they went from the play-in game all the way there. Amazing to watch. This one, not as fun to me, but much more dominant. Team.
The Angel Reese Caitlin Clark quote unquote controversy, not controversy. For those of you who are not in the know, the NCAA Women's National Championship, which was a thriller, LSU won the national championship, and Caitlin Clark, who had without a doubt one of the best college basketball performances, men or women, in a tournament, just absolutely killed it. Averaged more points than some teams did. Just insane.
She's nasty, man. She's nasty.
Yeah.
Iowa, I didn't watch it, but from what I heard, Iowa got done a little dirty, call wise.
Yeah.
And that was a big game. I mean, because women's college basketball is more top heavy than almost any other sport. It's 6 guys going into the tournament that are going to slug it out for a chance to win it. So to see, not a blue blood school like Iowa make it that far. And I mean, LSU was a good basketball team. Let's not pretend like they already had wins.
Was their first national championship ever, though?
Was their first national championship ever? Their two losses were to the Lady Vols, a pretty heavyweight in the college basketball world, and the South Carolina Gamecocks, who were probably the best. They were the best team in the nation all season.
It's absolutely insane.
Until they weren't, what I heard was that there were first and second round women's tournament games that were getting higher ratings than like first NBA playoff games and stuff. That's good. It's good for the sport. I mean, we've talked
they
about
said
what
that
can
the
make
final,
it
they released the stats. The women's final averaged more viewers than any Stanley Cup final game since like 1977.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And which is just absolutely insane. I mean, people tuned in from. I think it said that it ranked more. It ranked higher than any MLS Cup game in history. It just
sense. That's good.
Yeah, but they just give
awesome. That's awesome for the sport.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, it was good basketball. It was great to watch. It was fun basketball to watch. But the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark quote unquote controversy, as I'm putting quotes, because it wasn't controversy. It was a big load of nothing. Anyway, Caitlin Clark earlier in I guess it was in South Carolina. She did the John Cena, you can't see me, and pointed at the ring.
Yeah,
because she's a competitor. It's good for the sport. It's getting that blood going. That's great for sports. And then Angel Reese did it. Some people are saying she did it a little bit too much. I don't.
Provocative.
Care, I loved it.
It's provocative. It gets people going, dude. You know what
I'm
saying?
And of course, no one had any problem with Caitlin Clark doing it. Angel Reese does it, and they throw a conniption fit. And then they finally interview Caitlin Clark. And she's like, "No, I think it's great." She's like, "What?" Like, they're competitors. It's what you do.
Didn't she say something along the lines of like, "I probably took it too far a couple times." I mean, it's like. It's not a thing. This is a national, if these people weren't competitive, I guarantee you they wouldn't be in the limelight for you to see them doing this because they wouldn't be there. That's why they're there, is because they're that. Like Randy Moss,
Yeah.
like we sit here and we make, I mean, any joke. How are you going to pay for that? Straight cash, homie. I mean, that was Randy Moss being a straight up diva. And we loved it because he's a competitor.
Yeah.
We want to see competitors compete. They're not hurting anybody. Okay. It's different than, Kyrie telling people not to get a vaccine. Let's just be real. Like, let's be real with it, Oh my goodness. But yeah, hey, congrats to LSU for getting that dub.
Yeah. And speaking of competitor, and this is way off topic, not even on the doc, I saw a video of Mike Tyson on a morning show or something, and he said that his aim is so good he can like hit a bullseye blindfolded. And so they tested him. They're like, all right, let's do it. And so they took him over to like a dartboard, blindfolded him. He had 3 shots. The first shot like hit the 14, on the board. First off, they were like, well, you even hit the board blindfolded. That's dope. 2 bullseyes in a row after that blindfolded.
Mike Tyson? Dude, that's why we have him on the show.
My boy, he can, honestly, he can do anything, I feel like. If Mike Tyson said I could go out and win NASCAR, I'd be like, yeah, he probably can.
I'd be like, dude, where's his sponsor? What's his sponsor?
Yeah.
You remember, Mike Tyson is literally bit a man's ear off, and we talk with him about him with such reverence. Like, he was the only person on earth that can bite another human's ear off. Like, literally a chunk.
Yeah.
And we're just like, dude is an awesome guy. Remember that time he was on a plane and that guy saw him and he was jazzed to see him? He was like, Mike Tyson, man, it's super good to see you. And Mike was super generous at first. Like, oh, thank you. Well, the guy kept like,
well, he was like, oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe I'm on a plane with Mike Tyson. He keeps like leaning up and patting him. And finally, Mike Tyson just gets out and just beats the shit out of this guy. And no repercussions because the dude was being annoying. Like, bro, don't mess with, that's the heavyweight champ of the world, dude.
Yeah.
Like, don't even put yourself in a situation in which Mike Tyson may go upside your head, dude. We do questions from the internet about Mike Tyson fighting a gorilla. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like a normal, and that's like every day. Like, that's not me. I didn't come up with that. Like, somebody else came up with it. So like, what are you doing, guy? So that's dope. Gotta love that.
Yeah. But yeah, so Nashville Soccer Club beats Orlando 2-0. I'm not sure what the
3-2-1 right now.
Okay,
is our.
I know in the beginning of the season after they beat New York, they had the 4th best odds of winning the championship. I'm not sure if those have fallen or if those kind of stayed the same.
Not sure about the odds, but I can tell you the standings, if you will. 3 seconds. We got to get to a game now that we kind of finishing up fantasy sports and all that good stuff, dude.
Let's see. Where is Nashville SC is sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in the East right now.
5th in the East. Hey, it's super early. We got till August, late August, early September.
Let's
got time to right the ship.
Yeah. Let's move to our main topic of the day. I was looking for a drop. We don't have a drop for main topic of the day. We got our playoff look ahead for the NHL. We went over kind of the teams that have clinched a spot. We've gone over the teams that are kind of in. So obviously we've done our pick'ems as far as who we think is going to win. Do you still agree with that? Who do you think? Obviously Boston's an easy choice, but who do you think is coming in hot to the playoffs outside of Boston?
Yeah, the Rangers for sure. Just liked a lot of their moves that they had done. But Edmonton, believe it or not, Edmonton is a team that I feel has come on very strong down the stretch.
They've won 5 in a row.
That is a team that if they can get it going, it's a hard to stop team because we can drop 5 goals on you, but if the other team can drop 7, it doesn't matter, right? So, and the other team, the Oilers have 2 players that can both drop 7 apiece and it not be even a crazy night. So Oilers are one that if they can get over their mental hump, which is what I think a lot of that is, I think that they'll do well. Got a guy like Matthias Ekholm who's never won a Stanley Cup, but he's been there for a run and on a much less talented team.
Yeah.
I think that was a great addition by them. But I don't want to discount the Kings, who gave the Oilers everything they could have last year in a series in which they were worse than they are this year, in my opinion. I think that Edmonton is a better team than they were last year, but I think that LA is a better team than they were last year as well.
Yeah,
Minnesota
like
and Dallas. Go ahead. No, you were just going to speak.
I like LA a lot, but Edmonton, I think that so much about the NHL is momentum. And Edmonton is coming in only losing one of their last 11 games, and that was to the Golden Knights, and I'm pretty sure that was an overtime loss. I mean, they have just been running through these teams. Now, obviously, it's the West. So take that as some of those games have been against the Sharks, the Coyotes, the Ducks.
Well, and
the last 11 games,
the West is more competitive, and therefore it seems like they're not as have on the higher echelon,
well, I think, but at the same time, of those 11 games, more of them you had 2 against the Kings, the Kraken, the Stars, 2 against the Golden Knights. I mean, those are teams, those are competitive teams, that are pushing them to their limits. So yeah, they're winning, and that's what you do. You win games that you're supposed to win. That's what champions do. The last loss before that was against the Maple Leafs. This is a team that if they, like you said, if they can get over their mental hump, if they can go in there and play their game and give Draisaitl and McDavid the puck, they could win. I think they could sweep the first round.
Yeah.
Easily.
Oh, absolutely. I think that this is one of those things that's either going to go 7 games and it's going to go either team's way, or I think Edmonton's going to come out here and be the better hockey team. Which team we're going to get, we'll kind of have to wait and see that. But just even after this talk, and I know it's not a whole lot, but I'm even almost willing to go out and look for their odds to be the Western Conference champion. I definitely think they could be a Western Conference champion and playing in the Stanley Cup. To go through any of those teams in the East would be difficult, to say the least, though. The higher echelon of the East, at very least, I was kind of playing devil's advocate. Oh, is it more fair, more balanced over there? So it looks where. I don't think that. I think that the upper echelon of the East right now, the Boston, the Hurricanes, even the Devils to an extent, are just overall good hockey teams that could give any of them a
anything
chance.
in the West, in my opinion.
And it all comes down to we'll see. You never know with a hockey
Who's hot
series
at the right time
for sure. But poor Toronto. They pulled up into the second seed spot, but they're going to have to play Tampa. I think that's that sucks for them. That sucks for them, because as not low as I am on Toronto, and I'm not, I wasn't coming into this thinking, oh, they're definitely losing another first round series. But I think that playing Tampa is a guarantee. Like, you're going to lose that series. I think that they have the experience.
I wouldn't be honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if we're in a couple weeks and Toronto got swept by Tampa.
I would be surprised, a bit surprised that they got swept, but not as surprised as I would be if Toronto comes out on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be less surprised they got swept by Tampa than I would be if they beat Tampa in the series. Hey, this is where superstars make their money, though, right? Austin Matthews, all it takes is one run, one cup, and people will talk about it forever. Look at Alex Ovechkin. Everybody's off his case. Nobody talks about Washington missing the playoffs this year or something. Doesn't matter. He won a Stanley Cup. His name is etched on it. So all it takes is one. We got 2 superstars here that have a real chance to change a lot of perceptions about them. Let's see if they can do it. And McDavid and Matthews, man.
All right. And now, for the last time you'll hear this drop until next season, let's move into the final edition of Games of the Week.
Games of the Week. Bobby and Brandon do the work so you don't have to. The best from around the NHL and what to watch.
The work is done. We are crowning a new champ this season. and he gets to hold baby Stan for the first time. Brandon Bond is the winner of this year's Games of the Week. Final record, I had 62 and 49. He went 66, 43 and 1. An absolute amazing season by him and a great comeback in the final stretch. He also won the betting. I finished off with $110 in. I finished off at $119.33. He finished off at $121.56. So a very, very close matchup for both the win losses and the betting. Brandon, I mean, absolutely amazing. I mean, honestly, congrats to us both. But congrats to you, bud.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you, man. You really came out and stomped me last year. And so all off season, I've been training. I've been picking things. Okay, this and this. Okay, this and this. Picking this. So, I mean, it was, I got to give it to, my training team and, my family, my friends, my wife for, just encouraging me when I'm up at 11 o'clock at night screaming at the Arizona Coyotes for scoring a late goal. Like, what are you doing? Stop doing that. But in all seriousness, glad to have, baby Stan. Gonna have to send you the pictures of me celebrating with baby Stan. Just like you said, have a couple little bites of cereal, eating cereal.
There's like one Captain Crunch in there.
Yeah, man. And let's be real. You had a fantastic season, and honestly, if it wasn't for the momentum that I gained and you slid a little bit, we called this 3 weeks ago. You were the winner, easy money. So good season, buddy. We'll come back at it next year and see if you can take baby Stan and keep him with you. You'll never leave me, baby Stan.
Let's move into joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like this. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each sixth chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
This one is a big old oof. The Royal Mail, which for those of you who don't know, is a private company over in the UK that deals with all of their mail service. They apologize for misjudging an April Fool's joke where they promised to give their staff pay raises. Now, a little bit of context, they are currently in the middle of a fight with the Communication Workers Union for higher wages. There is currently there might be before this was happening, there was mentions of a strike possibly happening. For April Fools, they put notices and posters on all the offices that were informing staff they would receive an 11% pay rise backdated to April of 2022 after an agreement was reached with the Communication Workers Union. The posters were removed after a spokesperson said that the joke was misjudged. That's just absolutely insane. The poster also said the Royal Mail. They also said that they would employ 10,000 new quote unquote telegram boys and introduce a brand new fleet of diesel vans and bicycles to replace electric vans. Which is just like, wow.
This is the sick joke of the week, dude. Like what? Okay. First of all, but from what I read about this previous to you putting it on here, I haven't read this full article, but from what I heard, there's, some precedent in something like that being taken to court and used like as an actuality. Like, you said you were going to give this, you posted it. There is no jokes and, there is no,
April Fool's is not like
it's not an accepted holiday. Like, oh, well, I see here, officer, that there's no way you could have arrested this man for possession of methamphetamine. It was April Fool's. And he said April Fool's to you on camera. So, sir, we're going to have to drop this case. Like, no, like it was always bad. But the fact that you're going through arbitration at very least, but a labor strike at worst, what do you do? doing?
Like
What are you
this
doing?
affects families. Like
bet
imagine
you-
coming in and seeing that and being like, "Hey, this is going to 11% is a big amount for these people. That's
Well,
a
good news,
hefty
Bobby.
raise."
Good news, Bobby. Nothing will happen. Okay. Nothing's going to happen
Yeah.
to these people. It's going to be fine. They're going to come up with some sort of law that says people that work for a private company and carry mail have to work or they get, strung up in the gallows or something. So, I mean, don't worry, Bob. Mail's getting delivered again by Royal Mail very soon. Okay.
Yeah. They interviewed some members of the Labor Party there because I think it was in like 2013 when the Royal Mail became fully privatized, and they all said this is what will happen. Because the whole point was they're like,
Yes.
oh, we can't have any more. We got to get rid of government regulation. They're like, okay, well, you realize that it's going to be strikes.
What will
like, no, the free market won't allow strikes to happen, and it's like that's actually not how the free market works. In fact,
right?
I mean, that's
misunderstanding.
actually the opposite. Yeah, I think you're
just calling everything that you don't like communism doesn't make it so. Like, I saw a girl that was like, she posted a tweet, said, I went into Burger King the other morning for a Diet Coke, and there wasn't barely anybody working. This is the world under communism. Well, number one, first of all, ma'am, I haven't gotten past the fact that who just does a quick swing by BK to snatch up a Diet Coke? That's question number one. Before we even get to the stupidity of everything that you've said post this, what? just a quick Diet Coke run by Burger King. But also, what you're saying is you were too lazy to just walk inside and pour your own Diet Coke. Like it was going slow because you went through the drive-thru and you didn't get off your ass to go inside. But then my second question would be, that's literally capitalism. That is capitalism. Yeah. That's the thing, right? It's that Burger King's not supposed to be open because people don't go there except for you for your Diet Coke. But I doubt that you're $2.29. What I have to imagine is daily, right? You don't just every once in a while swing by for a treat Diet Coke at BK. She stops at BK every day.
It's like her Starbucks.
Exactly. Sorry, I was late, and you're walking in with your BK.
She's walking around with that Diet Coke cup making fun of millennials like, oh, these millennials with their avocado toast and their overpriced frappuccinos.
Exactly. The avocado toast being lazy, can't get to a BK to work for $10 an hour. Like, it's 8:30 in the morning, ma'am. You came here for a Diet Coke. You took the drive-thru. Like, just buy a Diet Coke. Pour it
go to a gas station
at your home. Yeah. Go get you one of them big refillable cups at like a 7-Eleven or something. Like, make friends with that guy daily. But just that's the real joke of the week. Just a quick, man, you got to run to BK. Just need a Diet Coke, dude.
All right, it's the beginning of the month, so we got some What Are You Binging? I started watching this new show that I watched on YouTube a couple times, immediately got hooked on it, called QI. It's a British panel show. I love me some British panel shows. It's pretty much a bunch of comedians come on, and they ask them, like trivia questions.
Well,
so, they're actually kind of hard trivia questions.
They're British comedians, though, right, Bob?
Sometimes they also have American comedians on there. Sometimes,
okay. So they have
but
real
for the most
comedians.
part,
they have real comedians and they have British comedians. Where like 98% of their jokes are just like things you don't understand and how bad their teeth are. That's their humor, right? That's cool. That's cool. It's always good for you to find some new European.
But it's very cool. It has kind of annoyed my wife because it is both very funny but also very informative. So I've been learning a lot of like very useless information, and that I then have to tell somebody. So obviously I tell my wife, and she's like, all right, this has got to stop. Like, I don't know how many more useless facts about stuff that I could just, that you can just keep telling me. And I'm like, well, get ready, because I'm finding out more all the time.
I don't know if that's a fact or not, but I'm going to put it in I'm going to put it in the old file.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really been a twofold for me. really got into a huge Big Brother kick. So it could easily be Big Brother. Finished season 10 or Big Brother 10, just finished Big Brother 2, just finished Big Brother 3, third through Big Brother 4. But I have been watching a bunch of old seasons of Survivor that are on Hulu. It's just the ones that are on there, and I'm just not doing anything and put it on the background. I've found that to be a show that I can run through so much quicker. Obviously, the difference in episodes, a Survivor season is like 15 episodes, and Big Brother's like 33. So it's like a big difference, like in time gap. But I don't know, man. I've just been, you know me, bro. When I get into something, it's like, bro, this will be my entire personality for like 3 months. And then you may never hear me say, I watch an old Survivor again. I mean, it's just who I am. So right now it is apparently reality game shows from CBS. So
nice. One of the game shows I watch is called Game Changer, and they change up the premise every week. But one of the things they did a while ago was they had a 30-minute Survivor where they spoofed Survivor, and they brought them in, and the contestants didn't know what they were coming into, and then they're like, you're pretty much on an episode of Survivor. Obviously, you're not out in the wild. You're in a you're in a recording.
It's a quick
room.
run.
And they're like, all right, so. Well, right off the bat, they kind of said, they're like, all right, guys, so this is what we're doing. We're going to take 5, go hit the craft service table, and then we're going to start recording. The one person who loves Survivor is like, oh, it's begun now. This is when it's begun.
Exactly.
He immediately goes he runs over to craft services, and he literally starts throwing food off the table and finds a token.
Yeah.
Underneath like Jello. And he hides it in his pants, and he's like, and then he puts all the food back, and then he goes to the outside room where they have the little confessional. He's like, I didn't come to fucking lose.
Yes. That is so good. I'm gonna have to watch that because I've been wanting to put together my own little game of Big Brother or Survivor that, but it's just played in a day, and it's like, it revolves around drinking. Like all of the events are just getting drunk.
I'll see if I can find, because that came out a while ago. So that one episode did so well, they are now doing a 4-parter of that where they bring in more comedians to do it.
I think I heard about that.
And now it's behind a paywall for Dropout. But I think the old one might be on YouTube by now. If not, next time I'm there, I'll pull up or I can give you my login and you can check it out. Yeah, and the great thing is, shout out to Dropout. When Netflix came out and said we don't want people sharing their thing, the CEO of Dropout came out and said, we fully support people sharing their codes. In fact, give your code to as many people, give your login information to as many people as you want. Only for Dropout, but it's like, don't give your login information for other things. I don't want this to be taken out of context, but give your login information to our streaming service. And after that, they even then reduced the price of the subscription. They were like, yeah, I mean, this is, we want, they're like, I don't think people realize this, but the more, when we lower our price, more people buy it. They're like, yeah. And so, yeah, it's a really dope thing that they completely support, the opposite of Netflix. But yeah, it's really fucking dope. Let's move into what's snapping your stick.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right. So as I said earlier, I went to the movies last night. And one of the things, everyone always says, movie theaters are cold inside the theater. But the movie theater in Murfreesboro, the new Stones River 9, outside the theater, in the lobby, is a sauna. It is absolutely one of the hottest places on earth, I feel like. I'm sitting there waiting for Meg to get her popcorn, and I am sweating balls. I see other people there just drenched in sweat waiting. It honestly felt like 90 degrees. And then you go into the theater and it's felt like 50 degrees. And it makes it uncomfortable.
Gives you pneumonia.
So
this is extreme temperature changes. I feel you on that. I had one and I changed it. And then I thought about it and I was like, I probably did the one I changed it to last year. So I'm going to do both of mine. To play off of yours, just the general temperature inconsistency that we've been having for the past few weeks. I mean, it's up and it's down. It's up and it's down. I'm turning on and off and on and off and on and off my heat, my air, my heat, my air. I mean, look, man, I'm a broke ass guy. Like, I want to be turning my heat on and off all day, but I'm not gonna sit around sweating or be cold. Like, pick a lane. You know what I'm saying? But then my other one, and I'm now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm almost positive that I did it last year, but I'm gonna do it again. NCAA championship basketball game, 8:20, 9:20 on the East Coast.
That was
what
weird.
Is this, dude? What is this, Joe? It's a Monday. There's nothing going on. Like even on the West Coast, it was like a 6:20 game. You know, like if it was at 7:20 Central, sure, that means you get 6:20 at in Mountain and 5:20 in Pacific, and then 8:20. 8:20 itself is not like the latest, and a lot of Eastern time zone things happen like that. But dude, 8:20 Central time, it was just ridiculous, dude.
That was dumb. Ridiculous. I was like, I'm gonna start my stream after the game. I didn't start my stream until almost like 11 p.m.
I know. I was asleep. You texted me and telling me you're on. I was like, bro, I was asleep, dude. Like, I'm an old man now. Like, I was laid in bed for 20 minutes before the game came on, and I pulled my tablet up to watch. Like, I wasn't even on the couch anymore, dude.
Yeah. Like, and at first I was like, I assumed you'd be like at a watch party. I was like, nah, dude, it's this late. He's probably
on
already
a Monday.
It's a work night.
Yeah, it ain't a college football, event or anything. But even to the point where college football games being the championship being on Monday, like, I don't really do anything for that either. Like, I used to do watch parties and stuff when I was young, when I had, a desire to see other people. Like, mostly now I just hate everyone. Like, I don't want to see anybody, much less like see somebody past like 4:35 on a weekday, like walking across the street to 70's uncles and drinking with him and her dad is about as far as I'm willing to go on a weeknight. I mean, that's already. So,
yeah. I will say that at that wine festival, my brother-in-law was like, "Hey man, we should do a boys weekend with like a bunch of your buddies, my buddies down in New Orleans." And I'm like, "All right, let's do it." I'm hurting already. I'm still hurting, but let's do it, I guess. I'm down. But all right, guys, thanks for hanging out. For Brandon, I'm Bobby. This has been Pucks Out Podcast. We'll see you all again next time.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.